Cardinal George Pell has spent his first night as a free man at a monastery in Melbourne. He was acquitted of child sexual abuse convictions yesterday.
Vivian Waller is the lawyer for the complainant at the centre of the case, and she joins me now from Melbourne. Good morning and thank you for joining Breakfast, Vivian.
Good morning, Lisa.
First of all, I need to ask, how is Witness J, your client as he was known?
Look, he is relieved that it's all over. It's been a very long journey for him, and he's experiencing some relief that the process has come to an end. But he is also very respectful of the High Court, and he accepts the decision. He understands that it's very important in criminal matters to prove things beyond all reasonable doubt, and that this is an important protection of human rights in criminal cases. And so he is disappointed but respectful and relieved that it's all over.
And I was relieved to see in the statement that no doubt you worked with him on very late last night, that he did make a point of saying, I am okay, because there'll be a lot of people who feel discouraged, I guess is the way to put it.
I think it would be true to say that for a lot of survivors, this case has taken on a very symbolic significance, and I've spent quite a bit of time speaking to survivors and their families, and I know that for a lot of people, the acquittal can feel quite gut-wrenching, and these kinds of things can be quite triggering for people who have endured sexual abuse in their childhoods generally, and so it is a very difficult time for people, and my heart goes out to them. And it's a difficult time in the community generally, with a lot of anxiety around other things. So I know that some people are doing it very tough at the moment, but Witness J wants everyone to know that he's okay. He thanks everyone who has followed his case with interest, and he thanks people for their messages of encouragement and support. He expressed to me yesterday that one of his worries about the decision is that people might be discouraged from reporting to the police, and that is certainly not what he would want.
I found it interesting, Julia Gillard, who's now the chair of Beyond Blue, she put out a video statement yesterday and made mention of the fact that because of coronavirus, this would normally be a time where people would be coming together to give comfort to each other, those who are survivors of dreadful things in their past, and yet we can't. They're not able to.
Look, it's a very difficult time for people, and a lot of those supports and networks that would usually be there to support people are only in place electronically. So, I mean, I would echo Julia Gillard's comments. I would encourage people to try and stay focused on those things that support their well-being and their recovery. And I don't mean at all to diminish the despair that a lot of people are feeling. But Witness J and I are both acutely aware of the fact that a lot of people are finding this difficult. And in fact, Witness J is probably more worried about how other people are feeling than he is about the impact of the decision on himself.
A lot of people have suggested there might be a loss of faith in the legal system over this.
I'm sorry, Lisa, I just missed your question there.
There have been people suggesting, Vivian, that there might be a loss of faith in the legal system.
Look, I certainly understand that people may have that feeling, a feeling of loss of faith. I would like to, or for myself anyway, when I'm looking for words of comfort, I like to remember that in fact there have been many, many successful criminal prosecutions, particularly of Catholic clergy in Victoria, Christian Brother Best, Dowling, Farrell, Weston. There have been a very long list of Catholic priests in Victoria that have been convicted of criminal offences. Father Ridsdale is in jail for the rest of his life. There's been convictions against Father Claffey, Father Coffey, Father Eames, Father Ryan. It's a very long list and too long to go through this morning. But behind each one of those convictions is a survivor who had the courage to come forward and to report to the police. And as a community, we owe a debt of gratitude to those survivors who have had the courage to come forward and report to the police. And I would like survivors to draw some comfort from the fact that there is a long record of convictions in the state of Victoria. It is also true that each case must turn on its own facts. And in this case, the High Court was not satisfied that the prosecution had discharged the burden of beyond all reasonable doubt. But my message is to survivors is please do not lose heart. There has been a long history in Victoria of survivors doing the right thing, coming forward to the proper authorities, and where the appropriate legal standards can be met, convictions are being recorded.
And Julia Gillard, again, in that video clip she released, said that she was calling on all organisations, churches, youth groups, you name it, to commit anew to a future where every child is safe from sexual abuse. What are your hopes about the future moving on from here?
My hopes about the future is that people will still feel encouraged to come forward, that they will still report matters to the police. The police have no chance of advancing prosecutions unless members of the community come and report to them. And I would also like to acknowledge all the people that participated and engaged with the Royal Commission into sexual abuse, because a lot of good came from their reports, and a lot has been built on the courage of survivors coming forward. And the Royal Commission led to the establishment of a lot of really wonderful law reform, making it easier to run civil claims, the establishment of the National Redress Scheme, the establishment of the National Office for Child Safety, the abolition of confidentiality and confession. So my message to the broader community is please do not lose heart. A lot has been achieved on the strength of survivors coming forward, and we all would hope that that continues.
Vivienne Waller, the lawyer representing the surviving former choir boy at the centre of this case, thank you for your time this morning.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And if you or someone you know is experiencing distress, you can contact Beyond Blue on 1300 224636 or Lifeline on 13 11 14.